Obviously, it's still very early to be discussing anything of this sort, but assuming there is a presidential election in 2028 the Democrats are able to participate in, I'm already trying to think about the proper way for the left and for the Democratic Party, honestly, to counter MAGA, to counter Donald Trump. And someone that we're having on the show in a couple of days is Kyle Kulinski of Secular Talk. He's been positing this idea or this theory that we needed to nominate basically our own populist kind of celebrity, someone who's controversial, someone who has high name recognition, someone who's a bit of a cultural icon themselves, because that's something that people don't realize about Donald Trump. He's more than just a politician. He's a literal cultural icon to a lot of people. He doesn't represent any specific policy. He represents success. He represents, the American dream, as stupid as it sounds, right? He's, the manifestation of making it in the way that most people want to make it, right? Jon Stewart, do you think someone like that, if we were able to court them, if we're able to call on them and get a movement behind them, do you think someone like that could be the antidote to this, right? The left kind of taking a page out of their book, fighting fire with fire, or do you think that's silly and that we need to kind of stick to serious people, quote unquote, next time around and offer the American people a return to, like I said, seriousness and normalcy instead of like going crazier and crazier and continually down this anti-establishment rabbit hole?
It's a good question. We actually ran a piece recently in Zeteo on who could be the Bernie of 28, who is a populist, who is a left candidate. It's not a deep bench, sadly. It's a good look. I've seen Kyle's tweets. I wrote a piece back in, I can't remember when, years ago for The Intercept saying, please don't talk about Oprah running for president. That would be ridiculous. Remember, there was a whole draft Oprah movement post-Trump in 2016.
My president.
And I said, look, we don't want to be like the Republicans. The liberals and leftists should not follow down that path. Be consistent. Like, if we thought Trump is unqualified for president, don't nominate your own unqualified person for president. Oprah Winfrey does not know anything about foreign policy. She does not know anything about any policy. Now, I'm trying to stick to that position for the sake of consistency of saying celebrities as political leaders, not a great move. Jon Stewart, I love Jon Stewart, but comedian in particular wouldn't necessarily work against Trump. Don't forget, Trump's not just a cultural icon. He plays on this myth of I'm the businessman, right? The Apprentice is what really created Trump. Without the Apprentice, there is no Trump presidency, right? It's the myth of the great hiring, firing guy, even though he's a multiple bankrupted, failed businessman. So if it was going to be, it needs to be someone with a proven track record, not a comedian. Look, I remain to be persuaded. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I think if Kyle can persuade me, if others can persuade me that in 2028, the only person who could beat Donald Trump is The Rock, or God help us, a Mark Cuban type.
The big boy from Illinois, J.B. Pritzker.
I'm a real billionaire. That was his line at the DNC. My position, I have a very low bar. It's who can win, right? Of course, I'm a leftist. I want leftist policies. But if you tell me that Pete Buttigieg can beat Trump, then I'll support Pete Buttigieg, right? In the sense that I'll support anyone who can beat Trump. That's been my position consistently for 9 years. And look, the Biden deal wasn't a bad deal for the first couple of years. He got in with support of the left and didn't screw the left over. Like I said, Bernie, AOC, others were invited into the tent. They got policies on the table. It wasn't that bad a deal by American historical standards. I'd take that again if it meant defeating Trump or mini Trump or Trump heir. But yeah, who is that celebrity who is credible? I do agree with Kyle on one thing, which is whether it's a celebrity or not a celebrity, whether it's a normal senator or politician, we do need Democrats who are not afraid to say wild shit, right? This whole
start a podcast,
focus grouped bullshit has got to stop. Like, it's got to be, my position is, I've said this since 2016, Democrat needs to go on to meet the press and say, we're going to have a $25 minimum wage. Or we're going to spend $1 trillion on healthcare. How are you going to pay for it? We just will. Trust me.
Yeah.
How are you going to pay for it? Canada's going to pay for it. Just say absolute bullshit. Like, if Trump has set the bar, say whatever hell you want. I'm so fed up of a political system, this asymmetric warfare, where Donald Trump gets up and says, I'm going to buy Greenland. And then we have serious discussions about him buying Greenland. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris produces a 27-page policy document on childcare, fully costed. That's asymmetric warfare, right? It just needs to be a presidential candidate who says, vote for me, and I'll make sure $30 minimum wage. I'll make sure everyone has the best healthcare in the history of the world. Just say wild things, because apparently that's what the American public want, and that's what social media is enabling. So let's play the game.
I totally agree. And I feel like also something that Trump understood and that a lot of Democrats don't understand, even to some extent, I think Bernie maybe didn't understand this, is that like part of Trump's appeal is that he doesn't make a lot of these crazy solutions or propositions. He doesn't make them seem very ideological. right?
Yep.
It's not like, oh, I believe in this because of my school of ideology.
There
like-
are millions of Americans right now who, even if only half seriously, nothing to do with their politics, are going, ooh, Canada, 51st state.
Exactly.
Ooh. There are probably people having a beer at college just saying, hey, did you see what Trump said? Greenland, that'd be cool. Like, it's not framed, it's ridiculous, but it's not framed ideologically. It's insane to me that the man's not even president yet, and we're discussing potential military action against Denmark and Panama as if that's normal. And then meanwhile, the Democrats are like, why didn't we communicate better with real people? And the Democrats are like self-flagellating. Meanwhile, Trump is saying the most insane shit.
Yeah.
That asymmetry has to stop.
Amen. Well, that's a great message. Thank you so much for stopping by, Mehdi. I really am appreciative of the fact that we're able to end on this note, because I could not distill what the left and what the Democrats need to hear more and better than the way you just did it. So really appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
It's a fun conversation. Thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. Cheers. Thank you very much,
Bye-bye.
Mehdi. Wow, what a thrill that was. Oh my goodness. I thought we landed the plane, everyone. Gavin and I was ready to, have a stomach ulcer before this out of stress. Like we were really riding confident for a few days, and then it all hit me when I was like downstairs sitting with Gavin, and we're just like watching some skateboarding videos, and I'm trying to calm down, and I'm like, man, I wish I was a better skateboarder, blah, blah. Anyway, then we're sitting here, we're talking to Mehdi Hasan about foreign policy. We hit every major topic that we wanted to. Gavin, you set it up. You were like, we don't know where this is going. We have a lot of shit we want to ask him. I think we asked him everything we wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, we did. Luckily, pretty much every single thing. Yeah. I had like 3 or 4 questions written out. You had like 3 or 4 questions. We got to every single one. And basically, finished that up right on time. So huge shout out to Mehdi. He's obviously a busy guy, not just a commentator, but the creator and owner of his own media company now, Zeteo, which obviously we urge you guys to check out if you haven't already. I think Zeteo alongside Drop Site, probably 2 of the best companies that are new in the media scene on the left out there. So I love the work that Mehdi's been doing with Zeteo, and yeah, what an honor.
Yeah, incredible, right? I mean, what else is there to say? Thank you so much to everybody that's been supporting us throughout the live stream via Super Chat. We're going to get to every single one of those. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting us along the way so that we can continue to reach out to these big guests. We hope that Mehdi had a great time. We were super, super grateful to have him. I'm going to run to the bathroom really quickly if you want to start plowing into some of these Super Chats, Gavin.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to get through all the Super Chats, guys. So make sure to stick around for the post show. We'll be hanging out while we take these questions and comments from the community. But we really appreciate all of you guys for watching along. I hope you found some interesting, substance in there. We tried to come at Mehdi with a good mix of more entertaining topics and, real substantive in the weeds policy kind of stuff. So, hope we did a decent job walking that fine line.
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there.